weaponization of the justice system. This is a state case. This is different than the Jack Smith cases. Okay, this is not a federal prosecution. Joe Biden or anyone from his Justice Department have absolutely zero to do with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. They have no jurisdiction over him. They have no contacts with him. They have no control, certainly, over him. So to say that Joe Biden brought this case is one of the most ridiculous things I've heard. We know that's not the case.
Trump's former attorney, Joe Tacopina, burns Trump and later some of Trump's sycophants in Congress. So let's get right into it.
He's claiming that the trial was rigged, calling himself a political prisoner. Having represented Trump, please tell us what's going through his mind right now as you got to know him. What do you think he's thinking?
How is he going to use this as a campaign boost? That's the only thing he's thinking. I mean, he's clearly going to try and now use this as to form himself into some sort of a martyr, to try and position himself as a martyr and use this as someone who's been, politically attacked by his opponents and that the justice system has been politicized. That's how he's going to use it. That's what he's going to do. Look, Reverend, this is a bomb on the American political landscape. Make no mistake about it. But I also think there is a sliver of Americans who are undecided here. I think the people who are supporters of Donald Trump will be supporters of Donald Trump, whether he gets convicted in all four of his indictments. And just let that swivel around your brain when you say it a little bit. Our presidential candidate has 4 indictments, 1 conviction, or the people who are against him. Certainly, this is not doing anything to change that. So I just don't know at the end of the day what effect this is really going to have on the election. There's a sliver, perhaps, of undecided Americans who may say, you know what, I can't have a convicted felon as our president.
Well, Joe, we're talking about 34 felonies he was found guilty of. They may go through, and he has the right to go through an appeals process, but tonight he has been found guilty of 34 felonies. And as you know, I've worked most of my life in civil rights, a lot of it in criminal justice cases with civil rights. I don't know anybody in the neighborhood I grew up with that walks around with 34 felony convictions. That is a lot. So aside from the election, what it does to the country and what it is in the last weeks of the trial, we watched several Republican lawmakers, including the House Speaker Mike Johnson, circle the wagons around Trump, visiting the courthouse here in Manhattan to show loyalty to their nominee. Since the verdict came down, many of those same lawmakers have doubled down on that support, calling for the Supreme Court to step in. Take a listen to what Johnson, Congressman Byron Donalds, and Senator Tim Scott have said since the conviction Thursday.
They might have a spring today, but it's not going to last very long because what happened in New York is a travesty of justice. Everybody knows it.
I can't believe the hoax, this sham, this absolute injustice justice system, weaponizing the justice system of the United States of America against a political opponent. Un-American. Joe Biden, you're fired.
I do believe the Supreme Court should step in. Obviously, this is totally unprecedented, and it's dangerous to our system. This will be overturned, guys. There's no question about it. It's just going to take some time.
What are your thoughts on what you just heard, Joe? And as I mentioned, they're just a few of the many of the Republican leaders.
Yeah, what I hear, like Tim Scott is someone I used to respect, but I sort of lost a lot of respect from what I just heard because he sounded so uneducated, unintelligent, and made no sense at all to say that, look, I understand there's a political motivation to a lot of what's going on in our country today. And everyone wants to sort of paint the broad brush and, this is a political vendetta and then it's weaponization of the justice system. This is a state case. This is different than the Jack Smith cases. Okay. This is not a federal prosecution. Joe Biden or anyone from his Justice Department have absolutely zero to do with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. They have no jurisdiction over him. They have no contacts with him. They have no control, certainly, over him. So to say that Joe Biden brought this case is one of the most ridiculous things I've heard. We know that's not the case. And even Trump's lawyers know that's not the case.
Now, wait right there, because as you say, even Trump's lawyers know that's the case. You were attorney with Trump. You were on Trump's case early and got off the case. So you're speaking as one that knew, as you signed into work for Trump, which you explained on this show why, and you explained why you got out, that this had nothing to do with Joe Biden or any of the federal government trying to lean in on Donald Trump.
The federal government has no input on the Manhattan District Attorney. It's a state prosecution. So the federal government and Joe Biden cannot direct, command, request a state prosecutor to bring charges. They have absolutely no jurisdiction. The same way the president, be it Trump or Biden, cannot pardon anyone who's convicted of a state crime. That's only left to the governor of that particular state. So people who say that make it scary that they really don't know the law or what they're talking about. To suggest that Joe Biden would be behind a Manhattan District Attorney's prosecution is silly. In a
candid and exclusive interview with MSNBC's Reverend Al Sharpton, former Trump attorney Joe Tacopina delved into the legal challenges faced by the former president. Tacopina, who recently left Trump's defense team, provided insights into some of the most pressing issues surrounding Trump's federal and criminal cases. Tacopina emphasized that while some of Trump's legal battles may not be particularly strong, others are serious and not to be taken lightly. Specifically, he pointed to 2 federal indictments against the former president, which have raised concerns about potential convictions. When asked if it was possible for Trump to end up convicted in one of his criminal cases, Tacopina responded, "Oh, is it possible? Absolutely." During the interview, Tacopina addressed his abrupt departure from Trump's legal team just one day before the defamation trial involving E. Jean Carroll. He explained that he followed his compass and decided it was time to leave. While he didn't elaborate further, Tacopina's departure has raised eyebrows and fueled speculation about internal disagreements within the legal team. Tacopina also weighed in on Senator Tim Scott's recent comments, calling them ridiculous. Scott had suggested that President Joe Biden was somehow behind the prosecution of Trump in the hush money case. Tacopina, who said he used to respect Scott, dismissed the claim, asserting that, "We know that's not the case." As Trump's legal battles continue, Tacopina's insights provide a glimpse into the complexities of the cases. Whether Trump will face convictions or emerge unscathed remains uncertain. But the legal drama surrounding the former president continues to captivate the nation.